Pharos Sirius, a towering lighthouse on the largest of the Isles of Umbra, off the coast of Aleport. A marvel of innovation, combining mechanical know-how with etherology. Unfortunately, this lighthouse was not spared Bahamut's wrath in the 7th Umbral Calamity. The unchecked power that poured into this place grew the crystals that powered it to immense size and corrupted their ether. When engineers went in to assess the damage and see what repairs could be done, they were forced to flee immediately upon locking eyes with a siren. Hi, I'm Tyler, Final Fantasy XIV player and amateur bartender, and I've made it my mission to craft a cocktail for every dungeon in the game. And today, we're doing Pharos Sirius. Welcome to a cocktail reborn. Let's get started. I love Pharos Sirius. The wild growth of the corrupted crystals, the crystal zombies, the zoo and her eggs, the siren and her mechanics. And it's one of the very few dungeons with 4 bosses, if you count the tyrant as a boss. Yeah, my limbs of favoritism may be putting a thumb on the scale a bit, but only a bit. I'm a sucker for a good lighthouse, and any variation on zombies that feels fresh will always make a dungeon more memorable for me. Plus, Siren being my favorite guardian force in 8 doesn't hurt either. One thing I've noticed going through the level 50 dungeons is that they have maintained their character due to not needing to be part of duty support. This can be good or bad depending on your disposition, but I see this as nothing but a positive. Anything that doesn't need to be dumbed down for the MSQ bots is free to be as weird as it needs to be, and I feel like that's where you get most of the creativity in dungeon design. What I'm trying to say is, Yoshi, buddy, please give us more than 2 optional high-end dungeons per expansion. I wanted to see some hard modes again. Give us some dungeon mechanics that no bot could ever parse. Anyway, just let me get down off of this soapbox and let's make a cocktail. Let's craft. For this dungeon, because it is a Limsa dungeon and it's the sea and it's a lighthouse, I thought rum would be a good base spirit. And so we're going to be going with 2 ounces of Hamilton 87 White Stache. It's a nice blend of East Indies rums that has just a little bit of funk to it, but is still pretty clean. For the crystals and the first boss, I wanted to do something, well, orange. So we've got a little bit of 2 different things. First thing will be Aperol. It lends just a little bit of bitterness without being overwhelming. Campari fans would call it the poor man's Campari, but if you've ever had a paper plane, you know that Aperol stands on its own. Next we'll add orange juice. Specifically, I'm using Cara Cara orange juice that I have acid adjusted to lime juice. I'll have a link in the description to the Google Doc with the formulations for various fruits and how to get them to the acidity of lemon or lime or whatever. For the crystal zombies throughout, I wanted something that was inspired by The Zombie by Don Beach, one of the original famous tiki drinks. So I'll be using Falernum and cinnamon syrup. For the zoo and her eggs that she is so protective of and made for a frustrating run trying to get blue mage spells, I'm going with an egg white. And finally, for the unstable nature of this place and the ether within, I'll be using seltzer. This drink will end up looking a lot like a Ramos Gin Fizz, but without the gin. We're gonna be shaking this drink, so get out your cocktail shaker. Start by adding 1 ounce of the acid-adjusted orange juice. Next, we'll add half an ounce of Falernum, half an ounce of cinnamon syrup, half an ounce of Aperol, and 2 ounces of Hamilton 87 White Stache. Add an egg white to the other half of your tin and dry shake for a full minute. We're trying to replicate the head on a Ramos Gin Fizz, and you need to shake that thing for a while. After dry shaking, add ice and shake for 10 to 15 seconds to chill the drink. Strain into a Collins glass. Make sure you get as much of the foam as you can. Pour in seltzer until the foam reaches just to the top of the rim, if not a little bit higher. Then for garnish, we'll take half a orange wheel to represent one of the corrupted crystals. And there you have the Pharos Sirius. Let's give it a taste. You mean to skip ahead to a world where you can watch the rest of the video? Hear me then. Not as a viewer, but as simply you. As I learned from my YouTube analytics, you are a formidable foe. Stronger than any I have faced. Against you, I need bring my content to bear. I need burn the candle of my mixology. This is the sole pleasure I know, and it is the sole pleasure I have to share. And so I come before you to issue a Patreon and offer singular bliss. If you wish to skip ahead, I will not stop you. You value content. You do not burn your time, save for that you deem worthy. Early access and exclusive videos, the content of a patron true. But there is more to you than that. You know this to be true. Just as you know the thrill of pushing your bar and budget to their limits, of confronting ever mightier bottles, dancing ever closer to the precipice, wondering if this will be the one to finally fill the void. Such spirits you seek for their own sake, and no other reason. Is this not so, patron? Sign up for as little as $5 a month for exclusive content every month. Link in the description. Cheers. Very first thing that comes to mind is wassail, which is a hot Christmas drink made principally from lemon and orange juice. So the acid balancing of the orange really adds to that. So I'll mix that up a little bit. Okay. Then of course there's the Falernum and the cinnamon. The cinnamon stands out very nicely. Originally I had the ratios flipped on the Falernum and the cinnamon, and all I could taste was Falernum. So I brought the Falernum down, took the cinnamon up, and I think that really helped out a lot. Hamilton 87 is, for the most part, a pretty tame rum, but you do get just a little bit of that funk in there from a pot still rum. Another thing that comes to mind is an Orange Bang. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember Orange Bang from like a 7-Eleven or an Orange Julius from the mall. I'm really showing my age here. But the egg white plus the seltzer adds that kind of creamy flavor you got from Orange Bang. I don't usually like to mix with orange juice. I find it's a little bit too sweet, and it doesn't really add much. But here it is a very prominent player. You don't really get much of the bitter of the Aperol, but based on previous iterations of this drink, it definitely brings down the sweetness. Yeah, it's there. Campari or Suze would definitely make it a more prominent bitter, but I like it like this. Not everything needs to have that huge bitter element to it. This is just a little bit. It's almost like orange rinds. That's good. And that is the Pharos Sirius. Sound off in the comments below if you decide to make this drink. I made this to my personal tastes, so your mileage may vary. Please like, share, and subscribe if you liked the video, and check out the Patreon. And stay tuned for the next one, which will be... I don't know. Let me see. Oh, God. God damn. Really? That's the first hard dungeon? Copperbell Mines hard. Ugh. And until then, here, feel, drink. See you next time. Thanks for watching, and a big thank you to all of my patrons. You can sign up for the Patreon for as little as $5 a month. And a big thank you to my Alliance level patrons, KLG Chaos, Mal the Pal, and Shy. See you next time.